going to see if I can get this in here. When you understand what mapping a template is, what it means to map, as mirrors, right? It's like being able to map a reflection of your own math codes, math and physics codes, of what it is you become aware of in energy. So when you realize everything is energy, right? And you want to think of an architect or a template or a blueprint, okay? If you're running a blueprint, right, and you know that it's a divine blueprint because you're experiencing being one with all creation that you're gifting love to at a high rate of accelerated speed, that you're giving away energy, that's a torque speed measurement that you're experiencing within yourself, right? And so when you understand what black hole technology is, or a black hole state of technology consciousness is, that's an architecture. That's a system design based on mathematical codes of sound and light. Okay, so you realize if a state of fallen consciousness that is a mathematician running sound and light has to find some way using its highest intelligence, if you will, that it represents what its intelligence, okay, and what it's doing is has to find a way to be able to, since it's lost its connection to the primal sound field, which is an eternal sun, right? So again, I'm back to 4 years of age. I'm experiencing eternity through my own heart and soul. So I knew at 4 years of age, having this up and running, what a planet shield is, what a galactic shield is, what a universal shield is. That's universal DNA. So that means at 4 years of age, my shield was up. That's my universal shield that's up. That's a galactic shield that's up. That's a planetary shield that's up to protect the crystalline spiral. So it sort of becomes, it's not funny, but you know the connection, the company that you keep, who the informer is. So when you're eternity, it means you're running at a higher rate of speed. That means you can process visual information, mathematical codes within an architectural system faster than it can. So that means I run on a different blueprint than the one that's in here that was set up and changed the grid around. Now, when you scale it up to the galactic level and universal level, then you begin to understand, as I mentioned before, what triggers a reset. I gave myself a reset. That's how I know how to set myself on fire. Okay? That's a complete recalibration of the original blueprint. Okay? Done deal. That's why, as I mentioned before, from the tip of both of my toes, the amount of energy that was being released, because it's a full phosphorus ignition. Right? It's like you're completely rewinding everything that was written in RAM and read active memory of all the experiences I was experiencing, right? And then going all the way back to zero. Start over. That's a reset. That's a reboot. Okay, so you're rebooting the system. You're rebooting the codes. You're rebooting the original divine blueprint that you normally run on. So when that happens, it means now I'm releasing codes connected to the center point of the ecosphere, which is the magnetosphere inside this planet, to protect the planetary shield. Okay? Now you can see why, after I experienced that in 2016, December 15, 2016, where did I go? At first, I thought I was going to go down to the area where Lake Titicaca is in Peru. I remember that. I was either going to go there, and then I kept thinking the Big Island, go to the Big Island, go to the Big Island. So I was led to go to the Big Island. So when I get to the Big Island, then I realize and acknowledge why I'm there. By virtue of the communication that I'm receiving through my heart and soul of why I'm there and what I'm going to do while I'm there, and the places that I went while I'm there for the work that we do. Okay? So that means that I'm experiencing what I'm going to be doing at the time in which it happens, because it happens so fast. So when you realize the speed differential between finite light and eternal light, which is what I experience, is a different rate of speed, which is a different speed ratio harmonic between a 55 harmonic, okay, which is a black hole, right, and the harmonics that we run, which is perfect balance at the center point of every cell, which is the center point of every star, because I'm experiencing the primal sound and light field. Okay? That means I operate on behalf of the law of one. I'm a one. I'm one with all creation that I'm gifting electrons to go on forever. So what I experience, what others experience, is going to be different. Okay? Because that's the diversity, or if you will, a different aspect Remember, just like I was saying in the previous video, you are what you are, I am what I am, you're on your journey, I'm on my journey. We all have stories to tell about what it is that we're experiencing, but they're not going to be the same as mine. That's the beauty of the universe. Right? Musicians love to tell stories, love to live in our stories, because our stories are so adventurous and so spectacular and so much fun because you're filled with so much love and joy. It's ridiculous. Man, you just can't wait to give away all your energy, right? And that's what it was like here, because I was experiencing that here by virtue of experiencing something is less than what I am. That's known as the IM PM grids, right? You know, FM frequency modulation, right? So what it means is that somebody else can be communicating everything that they communicate, just like my grandmother, I guess, I haven't read it, mentions something about gene decode, decoding the codes, okay? If you paid attention to my videos and you understand being hypersensitive, it means that I'm running a hyperspeed of mapping codes. So I don't need to go to gene decode to find out what's going on. I know what's going on. I know what's going on before he does. Okay? Because eternity runs faster than finite life. Right? That's eternal love. That's eternal unconditional love. So now we're back to what the full false ignition means. I'm not holding on to one electron. So if he's holding on to one electron, I will certainly read that in his software. I'll read that in every software. Because it means that you're not experiencing the primal sound and light field because for some reason or other you're still holding on to an electron you're not letting go of as a result of miasma. Right? Now we're back on the hamster wheel. See, it's in the hole. See, instead of getting back to zero to being in a perfect state of balance, and now you're in a perfect state of balance, it's the law of least effort. Now you're accelerating because you're experiencing the energy coming into you because you're like a conduit, like a flow diagram, you know, water world flow diagrams. That means that the math works because the codes work, right? So one of the things that he doesn't do, which is to compare blueprints, if you will, put up all the mathematics, put up all the codes. Let's cut to the chase. So one of the things that I know, and I'm not trying to be negative about it, but when you think of time and energy or time and space and the speed at which you're learning, what happens is it's like drawing it out. I know about this. I'm going to reveal this, and I'm going to reveal what's happening here, and I'm going to reveal what's happening here. That's like a slow rolling movie. It's like, can you experience what all those codes are telling you within a planetary software consciousness terrain and know what's going on between the loss and gain, between the poles, between minus/plus, right? That's what I experienced. That's what I'm experiencing. So when you realize what your mission was, running stealth code, it means that your mission of where you are and what you're going to do where you're at is to do the jobs that we do energetically in order to do what? Release the codes. Releasing the math codes means that the original divine blueprint, those that carry the codes, which the guardians that carry the codes, means that they can repair the gates, repair the lines of communication between species. If you will, imagine, as I've mentioned in a previous video, you're going back to the point of origin. Whoa, the point of origin. Yeah, the Godhead, God consciousness. Okay, because when you think of what male and female is in chromosome pairs, it simply means that the nuclear reaction states between minus/plus, there isn't a polarity game going on between one and the two, loss and gain. No, there is no loss and gain between one and the other. You see, that's what a polarity integrator is. That means we're pulling in all the fractals of light that have been lost as a result of a virus in a computer, in planetary software. So you know that's a broken board. That's a fallen motherboard. So it's sort of like, let's just cut to the chase and we'll just start talking about information management sciences, if you will, visual mathematic codes, and how the geometry works for that. Let's cut to the chase and show what happened here. And that's what the guardians do. They put it right in your face. Right? Because you got to realize that math and physics is creation physics. which is spiritual creation. So that's why this information was being released, because they don't want this being widely distributed throughout the entire public. Look what they did to my camera. Not that I have a monopoly on knowledge. I simply share what it is that I've experienced. Those that experience what I'm sharing with anybody else, they're going to determine for themselves what value it has based on content filtering, the filtering, like an antivirus program, anti-Christic consciousness and Christic consciousness, or crystal spiral consciousness and anti-spiral crystal consciousness. Now you're back into the polarity game between minus/to plus, loss and gain of electron, protons, and neutrons, broken arrows or broken atoms. The relationship between electron, protons, and neurons. Are they getting along together? And the exchange rate of speed, right? Hey, somebody's stealing my electrons. It was sort of funny when another AB plus guy, Chris Nadeau, bless your heart, brother, when I met him and I was showing him some geometry of how this sort of works with numbers, 3, 6, 9, and 12, and rotation, actual spin rotation, of magnets and spheres, he began sharing with other people, I don't want anybody stealing my electrons. Energy harvesting systems. So break it down into the basic math. It's math. Arithmetic. Basic calculus. Complex number space. Numbers are energy. The function of numbers, the function of a fire, and how all that works. See, so I translate and if you will, self-measure by what I'm experiencing. And the experience is the information that I'm experiencing through my heart and oversoul to let me know what the heck is going on, right? That's simple enough. It's no different when I was 4 years of age, a little kid. I was thinking that earlier today. I'd really rather to go back when I was 4 years of age and transport myself in 1955 into current day so you could see me on this camera at 4 years of age. Hey, that's just a little kid sharing this stuff with us. This is a little hyperspeed character. Well, they knew that I was when I was a child. So all of the stories that I've shared have all been what I call intersections, to basically put the antenna out of business, And so you can see by virtue of a lot of the guardian materials and the testimony given by Ashadian, how many have been lost and at what levels. When you put the full scope, the light on all this subject matter, going back through the whole history, particularly with the electric wars, what we're up at, how long, she was absolutely right. I've known this since childhood, how long this has been going on before we were going to experience what we are now. And this is like a grand celebration. Just like I've mentioned in the past, what I told Logan, you have no idea. I realize you have no idea just how big, as a scale measurement on a cosmic level, what's actually happening. That's why I thought, and I pictured it in my mind, that everybody across the planet that still had a soul was going to be out singing and dancing and celebrating within their families, within their local community. But I certainly am very aware of those that have yet to heal as a result of, what is euphemistically called non-repairables, because their circuits are not firing correctly, which means the flashing on and off of codes, which represent the original blueprint, simply do not fire. So it's I call that a ping pong ball in a clothes dryer, which is like random access codes, random access codes. It's just like being on when you even I shouldn't use that as an example. When you hit a rack of balls, they're mathematically, electromagnetically are going to end up when they stop at a level of precision in a way that the architecture and this planetary consciousness software terrain allows for you to experience how that works visually on a holographic TV, plasma wave TV screen, right? 9 ball. Yeah, threes, even in odd numbers, all have a relationship with each other that relate to geometry, geometric creation spheres, upon which what I was experiencing when I was 4 years of age, as I've always said, is eternal fire. Can't put that fire out, right? And the linchpin of that actually is never wanted to be separated from the female arc side, the proton arc. Okay, and so this is where it gets real, what I call dicey, when you get into the, if you will, the male dominant electric side. Oh, so you want me to give up every last electron to flip it the other way? So you mean to tell me that I now become the highest speed acceleration of electrical current, and I'm giving all that to a girl so I can experience being a flower? I don't know that I want to experience being a flower too, because I'm not a girl. I'm the force side. I'm the electric side. I'm the force side. I'm strong and tough guy and carry a rifle and a carbine, and I'm out there to, I'm a hero. I'm a warrior, right? I'm a male, stronger, all right? And so you can see how that electrodynamically works between what I mentioned before about the aversion that they have